Good morning. And welcome everyone to New London Intermediate Middle School. It is always our pleasure to host this annual program in honor of Veterans Day. And as we join together in celebrating this special moment in time, what I will ask all of you to do is to please rise, remove your hats, and cover your hearts as the various veterans groups present the colors. Following the presentation of the colors, please remain standing so we can all join together in the Pledge of Allegiance, and as our 8th grade choir leads us in singing the Star-Spangled Banner.
Detail, post colors. Detail, present arms. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Order arms. Take seats.
Thank you, 8th grade choir and Mr. Rannick. It is now my humble honor to introduce Armin Conrad, AMVETS Commander, who will share with all of us today the history of Veterans Day.
Good morning, everyone. I am Armin Conrad, past State Commander of AMVETS and the Commander of AMVETS Post 45 here in New London. Will all of our veterans here today please stand up and be recognized? I would like to thank all the veterans here today. Say, welcome home and thank you for your service. Since the founding of our nation, millions of men and women, patriots, have served with honor and valor in the United States military. It is unlikely we will still enjoy the company of everyone who was active duty on the 11th day of the 11th month in the year 1918, Armistice Day, which was later changed to Veterans Day, the day we now mark our calendars for our veterans. But make no mistake, every veteran has made his contribution to the country and earned its gratitude. Our National Veterans Day is observed by AMVETS National Commander Horns Johnson at Arlington National Cemetery. Among the graves of many thousands of our veterans, some who lived long into old age and some at just teenagers who gave their lives on the battlefield. But this special day is also observed and celebrated in communities throughout this, the greatest nation on earth. From sea to shining sea. I'm honored to be here today, taking a moment out of our lives to reflect and thank the many who have put their lives on the line in defense of our freedom and the American way. Not every veteran has served in combat, but any veteran of any era will tell you that their time in uniform was one of the most important in shaping their lives. They'll credit the time in military with installing them in virtues such as discipline and loyalty that have been a part of their character ever since. They'll talk about the bond that joins all of them from all branches of the service together, whether they were drafted or enlisted, commissioned or non-commissioned. Each took an oath, lived by a code, and stood ready to defend our nation. In so many ways, our veterans have shaped the lives we live today, as well as the world in which we live. Today is our day for honoring our veterans. There are many opportunities ways to show them your love, honor, and respect. We honor our veterans by insisting that our nation lives up to Abraham Lincoln's promise to care for each who bore the battle, for their widowers and orphans. We honor them by never ceasing the search for those who have yet to come home. But finally, this Veterans Day, we honor our veterans by celebrating their day with heartfelt joy and appreciation for the veterans in our lives and for the pride of our entire country feels for them on this day that we set aside for them, our National Veterans Day. Now a little bit about Veterans Day. On the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, the fighting of World War I ended in 1918. This war ended 106 years ago. Due to the conclusion of the war to end wars, November 11th became a universally recognized day of celebration. This day was originally called Armistice Day, 8 years after the end of World War I, but only honored the veterans of that war. Then in 1954, after World War II and Korea War, it was renamed the Veterans Day to honor all veterans who served or are serving America in defending our democracy. So today we honor all of our veterans who unselfishly placed their lives on the line for our freedom. These men and women were ordinary citizens. until they heard the call of duty and answered it. They left their families, their homes, and their everyday lives, not for recognition or fame, or even the honor we bestow upon them today. They fought to protect our country, to maintain our way of life. As we honor our veterans and remember their great deeds, let us also remember those who are currently fighting for our freedom. The war on terrorism has helped us all realize how truly unique America's way of life is. The freedom we enjoy is extremely special, and that is why we must defend it. So now is the time to not only honor those who have fought or are still fighting for our freedom, it is time for each of us to take part in protecting it. The defense of freedom is not only for those in the military. Each of us shares that duty and that responsibility. You do not have to join the military service to actually defend our way of life. We can defend our freedom simply by maintaining it here in America. If you want to preserve our freedom, you must put them into action. For example, when you get old enough, by voting in elections or speaking out against injustices. We must also ensure that everyone feels the benefits of freedom. And we can do that by volunteering in our communities or teaching our children what it really means to be an American. Veterans Day is a day we honor all veterans, past, present, and those in the future. Thank you for honoring our veterans today. Let us walk towards tomorrow, still honoring them by living in the freedom they protected. God bless each and every one of you, and may God bless America. Thank you.
Thank you, Armin, for that message. In order to make sure that we can frame our minds and where we need to be in this moment as we honor all of our veterans during this Veterans Day program. As shared, Veterans Day provides us all with an opportunity to pause and pay tribute to those who defend our freedoms. This year, we have a very special video tribute directly to our community and our students. This tribute is being shared by alumni Sydney Ruckdashel, who is currently serving overseas. Please watch and listen carefully as she and the members of her unit share with us the meaning of Veterans Day. Please stand by while we get that video cued. The joys of technology. As we work on queuing up that video message, we will go ahead and move forward with our program. So please enjoy our next musical selection by our 8th grade choir under the direction of Mr. Rannick as they perform America, the Spirit Lives On. Thank you so much to our 8th grade choir and Mr. Rannick. And now cross your fingers, everyone, with a special message from fellow alumni, Sydney Ruckdashel, who is currently deployed, again sharing a message with all of her unit members in terms of what Veterans Day means to them.
Hi, Margaret in household. I'm Sydney Ruckdashel. You guys probably know my mom, Mrs. Ruckdashel. Me and my unit are currently deployed overseas right now, so we gather for you our friends to tell you what Veterans Day means to us.
Hi, I'm Chris Veterans Day means to me is enjoying time with your families and honoring those who served before us to allow us to have that time.
Hi, I'm Crystal Pride, and to me, Veterans Day, I would like to celebrate the past soldiers and my fellow allies every day. I'm proud to serve your country.
Today, starting at Veterans nothing better than saying my family members served and those who served.
Hi, I'm Crystal Stoll, and Veterans Day is a day set aside to recognize those who served our country and show our gratitude for all their sacrifices and dedication. Hi, I'm Sergeant Stormdashel, and what Veterans means to me is that we honor those who sacrifice time with their friends and family to serve our country, protect our freedoms, and fight for those who need us.
Hello, I'm First Sergeant Palmer, and Veterans Day means to me is a commitment to my soldiers, responsibility to not carry the anchor of those. Serving those that I care about and serving those underneath me so that they can be better than I was when I was at their point.
Hi, I'm Dr. Ellis, and Veterans Day to me means taking the time to honor and appreciate all of the service military and the critical sacrifices so that we can live the lives we choose to.
Hi, I'm Sergeant Gabriel, and Veterans Day to me means protecting those that served before us, and honoring the dedication of their families, looking back at the history of our country, really respecting where we came from and how far we've come.
Special thanks to Sydney Ruckdashel and Mrs. Ruckdashel for sharing that important message with our entire community this morning. In regards to the message that was just shared by those that are currently deployed, I think it's really important, and as Armin stated earlier, to really think about what is a veteran and who is a veteran. So before introducing our main speaker, I am going to read a brief poem that again lets us think and consider the legacies that are left by those who serve and have served. What is a veteran? He is a silver-haired American Legionnaire who holds his grandchildren a little bit tighter, although they will never realize it because he wants them to grow up in a world where they don't have to prove witness to the horrors of war. What is a veteran? She is a terrifyingly old and fragile woman who makes the communion bread every Sunday at church. She holds her head a little bit higher than the other ladies, and although nobody would ever guess, she was a Marine and continues to hold her title dearly. What is a veteran? He is the 23-year-old college freshman in the second row with a scar on his nervous face, feeling unsure of himself and surrounded by 18-year-old boys who couldn't possibly know that a year ago, while they were chasing girls and studying geometry, he was fighting a war halfway across the world. What is a veteran? He is the father who greets his daughter for the very first time when she is celebrating her first birthday. While she may never ask, his dedication to this country came first and paved the way for her opportunities. What is a veteran? He is the man who struggles against the mortal bindings of his wheelchair to stand as a military honor guard passes before him in review. As the children are still picking the candy out of the street, only he knows the price he continues to pay for their freedom. What is a veteran? He is the old guy bagging groceries at the supermarket, palsied now and aggravatingly slow, who helped liberate a Nazi death camp and who wishes all day long that his wife were still alive to hold him when the nightmares come once more. What is a veteran? The only thing that separates a veteran from the common man is that he felt the less than common devotion for his country move him in ways not easily understood. He was willing to put his hopes and dreams and even his very life on hold so that others half a world away might realize freedom. All veterans stand as living, breathing memorials to this country, the greatest nation on earth. And he is an American veteran. With that, I'd now like to introduce to everyone Officer Steve Elliott as our main speaker today. Officer Elliott is a current member of the Coast Guard Auxiliary and will now share how his unique story of service was influenced by the legacies of both family and close friends who served within our armed forces. Please join me now in welcoming Officer Elliott.
Well, welcome everyone on this incredibly important day. But I want to make something very clear. I am not a veteran, which may make some of you wonder, what is he doing up here today? I'll start out by telling you that I am Steve Elliott. I'm a school resource officer with the New London Police Department and the New London School District. Makes me a proud Bulldog, but I'm also an even prouder American. I've committed my life to 32 years of a career in policing, and I come from a long line of military veterans. My grandpa Clifford served in World War I in the Army. My grandpa Willard served in World War II in the Army. And my dad Paul served during the Cold War in the United States Air Force. Their service gave me the amazing honor of being part of the Sons of the American Legion, which is represented by this hat I wear today. The Sons, as we call it, was created in 1932, and it currently is made up of 379,000 descendants of United States military veterans. Our mission is to support veterans and their families, to promote the American way and patriotism, and to promote programs that help out young people. But that's not why I'm here to promote the Sons or the American Legion today. Rather, I'm here as a reminder that the vast majority of everyone in this place today certainly has friends and family who have served in our military or who are serving currently. For the students present today, who I see almost every day of the week, I want to share a bit about just what that means. Let's talk about the freedoms we enjoy and often take for granted. You like to listen to music? Read books you like? How about spend time on social media, like TikTok, Snapchat, etc.? Do you like to play video games? Do you like to learn in school? Do you have a favorite class? Do you go to church with your family? You can thank veterans for those American freedoms. How about enjoying hunting this time of year like I do? You go out with friends, family, relatives. Do you like the shooting sports, target practicing? Maybe you're a skeet shooter or you're a trap shooter for competition. Well, you can thank those veterans for those American freedoms as well. Do you like to travel? Go camping, go on family trips and vacations, all without being told that you can't cross a state's border, or without being stopped and searched at an armed checkpoint. Well, you can thank veterans for those American freedoms as well. And God forbid you should ever be accused of committing a crime Can the police just throw you in jail? Can the courts just throw you in jail and throw away the key? Absolutely not. You have the right to a trial and to be represented in court. Well, you can thank veterans for those American freedoms also. But the list of our amazing American freedoms is much longer than just the ones I talked about. Our very lives in America are possible because men and women served proudly in the Army, the Navy, the Marines, the Air Force, the Coast Guard, and now the Space Force. Many of them even fought and died for your right to live your life free. So we hear fought and died for our freedoms a lot. And so much so, I think it starts to lose its meaning. So I'm going to close my remarks with a modern day example of an incredible veteran, a fellow police officer, and a friend of mine, Dominic Hall. Dominic is someone I knew and cared a lot about. I trusted him as an officer when my life and the lives of others depended on him. Before I knew Dominic, he bravely served in combat in Afghanistan and in other dangerous locations in far-off places. He saw and experienced some of the worst of it. During his deployments, he was exposed to toxic substances and radiation simply due to where he was sent by our military. As a result, Dominic contracted pancreatic cancer. After fighting a courageous battle with that disease, Dominic died in 2022. He left behind his wife and 2 young sons. Dominic's story is sadly not unique. There are many veterans who suffer and have suffered with physical and mental illness associated with their time in service. You see, those freedoms I mentioned earlier in my talk, those don't come for free. They come at a cost, a human cost. So going forward, let's be sure to remember that. Let's be sure to thank our veterans, not just today, Veterans Day, but with every chance we get. Thank you.
Thank you, Officer Elliott. Veterans in attendance, we sincerely thank you and ask that when you hear the song representing your specific branch of the armed forces, as performed by our 8th grade band in this next musical selection, you stand once again to be recognized by all here. Please enjoy as our 8th grade band, under the direction of Mr. Ruda, now performs Marches of the Armed Forces. Thank you, 8th grade band and Mr. Ruda. Next, please join me in welcoming fellow veteran and Board of Education member Nate Grundy for additional closing remarks.
So how about that 8th grade band and chorus? Great job. Let's give them another round of applause. Thank you. Officer Elliott, thank you for your words and support to our veterans. Thank you. All right, first I would like to thank Ms. Pinch for inviting me here to deliver the closing remarks. As a member of your Board of Education, a local business owner, and a retired United States Army veteran of 26 years, it is both an honor and a privilege to stand before you today as we gather to recognize Veterans Day. This day is a powerful reminder of the dedication, sacrifice, and honor that define those who have worn the uniform of our great nation. Veterans Day is more than just a date on a calendar. It is a moment for us to reflect on the courage demonstrated by our service members. It is an opportunity and a chance to express our gratitude for the freedoms we enjoy thanks to the sacrifices made by our veterans. As President Ronald Reagan once said, "Freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. It must be fought for, protected, and handed on for them to do the same." These words resonate deeply with me and remind us all of the unending responsibility we have to protect those freedoms. Throughout my career, I have witnessed acts of valor and camaraderie that were nothing short of extraordinary. Every story shared today reminds us that each veteran carries a unique experience, a testament to their dedication. General Patton once noted, "It is foolish and wrong to mourn the man who died. Rather, we should thank God that such men lived." Let's take that sentiment to heart and celebrate the lives and legacies of our veterans. To those who never made it home, and to those who were fortunate enough to return. As we conclude our ceremony today, I encourage each of you to take a moment and thank a veteran, whether it is a friend, a family member, or a neighbor. Let them know their service matters. It's not just about words today. It's about our actions every day moving forward. Thank you to my brothers and sisters in arms for your service and your sacrifice. Thank you to everyone who joined us today to honor our heroes. Together, let us ensure that the stories of our veterans are passed down throughout the ages. Remember, the greatest glory of a free-born people is to transmit that freedom to their children. Let us carry this torch of remembrance and appreciation forward, honoring all it means to have served. The last note I want to leave you with today, as we honor our brothers and sisters who served, we must also acknowledge those who deal with the after effects of their service. Many carry heavy burdens, physically, mentally, and emotionally. Their bravery and resilience deserve our appreciation and recognition every day. People frequently ask me, "Nate, what can I do for our veterans?" My charge to you is to be the American our veterans deserve. Thank you, and God bless our veterans.
Thank you again, Mr. Grundy, for those closing remarks. This time of year is one where we reflect on all that we are grateful for. I encourage all in attendance to continue to take time to pause, recognize, reach out, and acknowledge how our veterans' call to service preserves our freedoms. 8th grade band members William Harvey, Eli Kalinsky, and Jason Wang will now honor all who serve and have served by playing taps. Please remain standing, everyone. As we retire the colors by our various veterans groups.
Present arms. Order arms. Retrieve colors. Let's go first. Yeah.
Thank you all. You may go ahead and be seated. Again, thank you for joining us today in honor of Veterans Day. Veterans and their families are invited once again to enjoy a complimentary chicken dinner that will be at the American Legion Post 263 beginning at 11 o'clock a.m. today. Thank you all, and remember, today is our day, as well as every other day, for those opportunities to thank those who have served and continue to serve in order to preserve our freedoms. Thank you all.